Yes, I've got some interesting stuff for you today. Note that President John Dramani Mahama has started naming his ministers. And we have seen the list of 3 that has come, and very key areas, of course. And you cannot take away the office of the Attorney General. And that is one of the offices that the President has listed. So this morning, I'll be taking you through the list of Attorney Generals that we've had since 1957 till date. We have 26 Attorney Generals.
26 Attorney Generals.
And Dominic Ayine will be the 27th one. But of course, my duty here this morning is that I'll walk you through since 1993 to date. We've had 13 Attorney General, and he will be the 14th one.
So the Fourth Republic. You're taking us through the Attorney Generals from the Fourth Republic.
Yes,
right.
This morning.
Okay. We want to see. We want to see.
Very interesting names of court.
Yeah.
So we'll see very soon. So it's time for court today, right?
He played it already.
Mentioned, under the Fourth Republic, we had 13 Attorney Generals come to the office, and Dominic Ayine will be the 14th one. And it's been very interesting when you look at the list that have come. For the first, if you look at former President Rawlings, he had 2 Attorney Generals. Kufuor came in, had 4. President Mahama and President Mills also had 4. Then Akufo-Addo came in, and he had 2. But who are these Attorney Generals who came to office? And are all these 4 presidents that I have mentioned, former President Rawlings, John Ajekun Kufuor, late President Mills, and of course, John Dramani Mahama, and then we have Akufo-Addo. So on your screen is the Obeda Samoa. Obeda Samoa is one of the Attorney Generals who have come to office. And in fact, he's the second under Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, who was our first president under the Fourth Republic. And he took over from Anthony Forson. Anthony Forson came in for a very brief period. And Obeda Samoa took over from there, and also ran affairs of the country in relation to that between November 1993 to May 1997. And he also continued from there to January 6, 2021. Then Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our former president who came in, also took over, handed over to Nana Addo Akufo-Addo handed over to Papa Owusu Ankoma over there. So Akufo-Addo came in, Papa Owusu Ankoma followed in that suit. Then he also was succeeded by Joseph Ayukwe Otu. Joseph Ayukwe Otu also took over from February 2005 to January 2006. In fact, 2006. Then guess who else followed Honorable Ayukwe Otu? Honorable Joe Gatti. He also came in and then played his part. So Joe Gatti was the one that ended the reign of former President Kufuor in that particular order. Then came President Mills in 2008, 2009. And President Mills' first appointment was Madame Betty Idrusu. And she, in fact, was the first female Attorney General under the Fourth Republic. And she served between 2009 and 2011. And from then, we had Martin Amidou. Of course, many would have remembered him for so many things. So Martin Amidou came in. In fact, for a very brief period between 4th January 2011 to 2012. So he stayed in possibly about a year in office. Then also took Honorable Benjamin Kumbo took over from him and Benjamin Kumbo was the one in charge before the late President Mahama Mills, of course, passed on, and Mahama took over. He maintained Benjamin Kumbo at a point. Then his substantive or his first appointment was Marietta Brew-Apia-Opon, possibly the second Attorney General under the Fourth Republic. So that also came in, and then that ended President Mills's tenure as the president after the 2016 election. And guess who took over from Marietta Brew-Apia-Opon? Gloria Akufo. And of course, Gloria Akufo was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's first Attorney General. And his deputy, Godfred Yeboah-Dabe, took over from her after she left office in that regard. So Godfred Yeboah-Dabe is the last Attorney General that we've had in office under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the second under his 8-year tenure. And of course, new President President John Dramani Mahama has also come in, and the nomination that he's made is the Honorable Dominic Ayine on your screen there. So he will go to Parliament, he'll be vetted, and once vetted, he's passed through all the processes under the Appointment Committee of Parliament. Then a decision will be made whether he passed to be the Ghana's 14th Attorney General under the Fourth Republic or not. So in brief, 14, in fact 13 gone, and the 14th one is yet to be approved under the Fourth Republic. So these are the Attorney General. If you look on your screen, there is the profile of Dominic Ayine, who will be in Parliament soon for vetting. So these are your Attorney General under the
Attorney Generals under the Fourth Republic. Yes. Dominic Ayine has been a deputy attorney general before,
exactly.
So you'll have experience in that regard.
Yes. She was a deputy under Marietta.
Yes, under Marietta. Yes, he was deputy attorney general.
And I'm sure Sewa will be happy because she's a lecturer. In fact, she's a law lecturer. The reason I say Sewa will be happy, if you look at the Fourth Republic, we had 3 women, and the women advocated. I'm sure that at some point I hope to see a lot of women being appointed into key positions in the government. What's your expectation in relation to that?
To the appointment Dominic Ayine or
no,
Marietta?
in relation to the this current government, women representation in office.
Well, I think that the biggest of all is the the nomination or the appointment of a woman to be the running mate, and now our first female vice president. You know, it was a very proud moment for all girls.
I'm sure it added to the colorful ceremony that we saw. But now women feel so much empowered.
Certainly. Yeah. And I hope that this move encourages more women to, enter into politics. Because, aside the fact that she's a woman, Murtala, she's a woman who is a vice president without a husband.
Yes,
the way
I saw that.
Society has made it look like if you don't have a husband, you are incomplete and you are not accomplished.
That's another part of the
nonsense,
argument.
By the way. I mean, it's nice to see that, not to say that I don't like marriage, but I'm just saying that you can accomplish whatever you want
status,
to. Exactly, whether you're married, whether you are single, whether you're divorced. You just have got to.
I think it's all about the mindset and the kind of premium that you put on yourself and what your target and your achievement will be, what you aim to do. And I can see Lantam nodding the head. And I saw that trend at the point in time that the fact that the woman has become, like you mentioned, she's not married at the time that she is being elevated to that office or she's taking over that office. I saw some ladies put that and more like to encourage themselves.
Essentially, marriage is not a be-all and
a big deal,
right? And you don't have to be married.
It is a big deal, but it is not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not a be-all and it's not a be-all and end-all.
And it's one side of the coin that we have even not paid attention to so much in relation to the fact that the second lady, the vice president is a woman who is not married.
And to me, it's inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. That should not even be,
It's all about the quality decision.
I hope the people who laugh at others for not being married are seeing it.
Yeah.
And she won't be the only woman
she won't.
Who has, broken the glass ceiling, who isn't married.
She's somebody who has broken the glass ceiling on so many occasions.
Yeah. So now the challenge for the women will now be the ultimate. You look forward to be the president and no more the vice president.
I was saying the last time that we could have had a woman president.
Before.
Yeah, we could have.
Nana Kunedu.
And it's the same NDC party which could have given us a woman president if Nana Kunedu had won in that primaries against the late.
Of course,
John
in life, histories and records.
And if she had won, we would have had a woman president.
Yes,
So
because the party in which she would have been representing would have really had the opportunity.
But I like that both political parties, do not shy away from giving women
the opportunity.
The opportunity, right? Because
I think CPP also did and gave the
CPP did that. But I'm talking about the two major political parties
who actually
have the potential, to capture power. I mean, we've had both of them. For example, President Kufuor appoints a first woman Chief Justice. We've had Kufuor appoint a woman Chief Justice. Yes. We've had a woman Speaker of Parliament.
Yes. Bamford Addo, right?
Yeah, and now we have a woman vice president.
Vice president.
Right?
I think the women have
yeah,
not been left out of the national
political
cake
parties
at all.
are giving the women a chance.
They
But,
are getting that.
More needs to be done.
Absolutely. So the women now,
So let's move on.
They have thrown the challenge. Nana Opukwajuman has set the tone. No more vice presidency because that has been settled now. Now the ultimate is the presidency. But of course, President John Dramani Mahama has been speaking about the justice system, justice delivery system. And there were a lot of talk about, in fact, during the electioneering campaign, so many things have been said about the judiciary, so many things have been said about how justice is being dispensed in this country. And of course, one key thing that also came to the fore, Sewa and Lantan, it has to do with the amendment of the Constitution. And the president has also been touching on that, making some comments about how things will be structured to ensure that the Constitution is reviewed in a way. And so let's hear President John Dramani Mahama on this subject matter.
Justice is a moral compass that must guide our every decision, every law, and every interaction in our nation. To this end, the new NDC administration is resolutely committed to strengthening our justice system to ensure judicial independence and address the systemic inequalities that currently exist. I can assure you that this administration will work tirelessly to ensure that every Ghanaian, regardless of your status or background, is treated with dignity and afforded equal protection under the law. Amir, Chairman, my brothers and sisters, to achieve this objective of justice, we would have to move the stalled constitutional review process forward. To achieve this, I would soon establish a committee to begin the planning of a National Constitutional Review Validation Conference to achieve broad consensus on the way forward for the constitutional amendments that we have all proposed.
One thing is certain, under President Mahama, there should be some amendment to the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution, because many have thought that there are certain provisions that ought to be changed or reviewed. So, what's your view on that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are things in the Constitution, clauses in the Constitution that need to change. And every president, I believe, has had cause to talk about certain changes that need to be done or made to the Constitution. But then they come into office, and because they're enjoying the large or the vast powers that the Constitution gives them, they talk about Constitution review. Some work is done in that regard, but the status quo largely remains.
I'm going to be very specific.
That this time around,
which part of the Constitution do you want to review?
Oh, there are quite a number of provisions. I think I don't support the calls for like a complete new constitution, because as you have heard many lawyers say, that no constitution is perfect, but certainly there are some amendments that needs to be made in terms of especially the powers that the president has in appointing certain key positions. That has got to change, because that is the foundation of a lot of the things that we are facing now, the power of the president to appoint who the IGP will be, who, will be even the Chief Justice, who will be the EC Chair. And so I've heard, Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, for instance, say that the position of an EC Chair should be advertised.
Yeah.
But, we are, even while that is, plausible, I still feel like we're too, look, everyone has some interest. Everyone belongs somewhere. Politically.
No one is neutral. You can only be fair.
Neutral. You can only be objective. And I think that's what everybody should aim for. And so once you find yourself in that position, people who think that you are not working for their party will start attacking you and calling you a member of one party or the other.
That's for sure.
But maybe once it is advertised and we all see the people who are vying for the position, even though, look, right from when the names come up from persons who have, shown interest, they'll tell you who is NDC and who is NPP. But maybe
that accusations will not stop coming.
Yeah,
definitely.
maybe, but
somebody will be appointed who belongs to one particular party.
So not necessarily belong to one particular party or
Align or
another,
associate,
maybe leans towards one party or another. But like you're saying, everybody votes. Everybody will vote for somebody.
Any vote
but
I cannot
the
say
thing is, you have to conduct yourself in a manner that is very objective.
The body posture.
And above reproach when it comes to the discharge of your duties. You have to be fair, you have to be firm. And you don't have to leave room for anybody to say you are doing the bidding of one political party or another. It doesn't mean that you're going to vote. I mean, sitting here, if I decided I'm going to vote for the NPP, it doesn't mean that if the MPP is in office and the MPP is doing something wrong and I have to speak about it or I have to do an interview about it, I have to treat them with kids' gloves and not tackle the issue and rather do propaganda to cover up the issue. Or if I vote for the NDC,
that's what we see.
Or if I vote for the NDC, it doesn't mean that if the NDC is in power now and something bad is happening and we have to speak about it, I shouldn't speak about it. That is the issue, really. The issue is not because you will vote.
Oh,
you will vote MPP, you vote NDC, you vote CPP, you vote whatever. But when it comes to doing what you have to do, even the justices vote.
Of course.
All of them vote. But when you are dispensing justice, do it fairly, regardless of who you vote on. That is really the issue.
I think that is all.
Yeah, that is really the issue.
There were a lot of people who were so quiet under the 8 years of Akufo-Addo. This time around, we hear them speak very loud. And there were people who were very loud under Akufo-Addo. And this time, we'll see them very quiet. So it comes to the point that, but really, I think that Article 14 of the 1992 Constitution ought to also be looked at.
Okay. What is in Article 14?
Fundamental human right of the individual, and especially people who are accused of a crime of a sort. People come to court.
What do you want to change?
You are innocent until proven guilty. Now, people are arrested, granted bail. They go to prison's custody, police custody, and they are treated as though they are criminals. The issue about...
But that has... I don't think that it is a... The Constitution is very clear on it.
Yes, it said a person who is accused is as innocent until proven guilty. But the treatment that are meted out to these people who are supposed to be...
So that was institutional
reform, not
so that's what I'm saying, that it still was given birth by...
So you mean you want it to be... Properly. That don't keep them in police custody,
it has to be properly
or don't
defined.
keep them in prison custody.
Absolutely. Once you said, not even in prison custody, but the treatment, you ask yourself, why is it that...
for that one, like Lantam said, it's a clear institutional reform.
Somebody goes
Murtala.
to police station and then the person comes the following day and all the face suddenly change.
Or perhaps
it's an institutional thing, but the Constitution will have to redefine this definition given to somebody who is innocent up to proven guilty. Such that you go to the court, somebody is granted bail, but still the person is in lawful custody. The person probably might have even met all the bail conditions, and still systemic thing, frustrations and other stuff is there.
Murtala, while I agree with you, I think this is a constitutional problem.
So it has to be
institutional.
It has to be properly,
because you know
properly defined.
What you are talking about, right, Lantam? When you look at the Companies Act, you know, in the past, right, before I've forgotten the case, but it's a 2023 case. I'm sure that when I speak about it, it will come to mind. That in the past, if you are a director of a company and you are accused of a crime, you are charged with an offense or with the offense of, I think, committing, something that's got to do with financial offense. Yeah. You cease to be a director of a company, right? And then that provision has been in the Companies Act, for instance, has been repealed. Because then again, it comes back to Article 14 that you are innocent until you are proven guilty.
So that part was inconsistent with the Constitution.
Yes, so the fact that I have been charged does not make me guilty.
Until
I am found guilty and convicted. You cannot use the mere charge alone to make my position or make me seize my position or vacate my position as a director. Yeah. So, I mean, while I get it, that it may be, I think that we have more important things to...
Within the Constitution.
That we need to amend. But we need an overhaul institutional reform, not just with the prison service, because there are so many constitutional provisions that we flout. Remember that Martin Pebu and the rest have had to sort the meaning of. It was very clear that when you arrest somebody, don't keep them beyond 48 hours. As if weekends were not part of the 48 hours. Somebody had to go to court to get an interpretation for weekends and holidays to be included in it.
No, but it was there clearly in the Constitution.
We are lawless. and
even with every offense being bailable, for example, Martin Pebu still had to go to court to, try and get that done in the interest of
even that the clause there is subject to the discretion of the judge.
Courts.
Of the courts.
So
but
if the court has a cause to believe that if you are granted bail, you will not appear to stand trial.
I mean, but one thing I would love to see done is, what President Akufo-Addo tried to do, and they reached an impasse.
Which one?
With regard to the election of MMDCs. I think it will help. And I think it's something that will come up because both sides agree that there should be election of MMDCs. The problem was whether or not it should be partisan, right? I think the president at the time, ex-president Akufo-Addo, believed that MPP, NDC, partisan contest. The NDC side believed that no, just like the district level elections are non-partisan.
But do you believe that the district level elections are not partisan? It is just
in
the name that they are not partisan. On paper, they are not partisan.
But in reality, it is partisan. But I think it should remain apolitical.
Okay.
I think it should remain apolitical, right? It should remain apolitical because there is the tendency for the perception of, okay, this is an NDC MC or an MPP MC with an NDC government in power, right? So if I were to mafia you and make sure that you lose your seat, I'll find ways and means of stifling you of the funds that you need to develop your municipality or your metropolis or your district. And then you will lose the election. But if we make it apolitical, even though, of course, political parties sponsor people to be assembly members and all of that. But, that perception will not be too much because I say that because we are
challenges also when we are
polarized along political lines in this country. We see everything through the political lens. And that is one thing that doesn't help us as a country. So on that score, I agree, it should be apolitical. We shouldn't.
So we'll see in the coming days how the clauses within the Constitution that will come up for review. So call today. We are done for the day.
Oh, that's it?
That's
okay.
It, yes.
Well, every time I meet Murtala, because I don't meet Murtala very often on the show, the last time we're supposed to do some education on something, I don't remember. But today, some of our callers have been calling about the removal of the
Chief Justice.
The Chief Justice.
We went through the removal of the Chief Justice
chair,
the last time, but that of the EC chair. And they're like, the president should sack the EC chair, the president should sack the EC chair.
It's not just a straightforward...
exactly.
So give us that education.
I mean, just by way of education, I think that the EC chair enjoys the same terms and as that of the superior courts, the judges of the superior courts. So the same process.
Yes.
Someone has got to petition the president. He will forward the petition to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice has got to establish whether there's a prima facie case. If there is, they set up a committee, and then the recommendations of the committee will have to be strictly adhered to by the president.
Just
if there's no prima facie case,
I'll also say the same thing. So the first, it starts from the petitioner. Somebody have to petition.
And someone has done that already.
I was reading.
Yeah.
Along
so
with
if you're curious, you can,
so the Chief Justice will have to establish the
what people must know is that it doesn't mean once you petition, your petition has merit. The president will have to look at it. If there's no merit on it, it will not even refer it to. The next step will not be taken. In relation to the Chief Justice, the president had it, discussed it with the Council of State, and they came to a conclusion that no.
Yeah, it is so that of the Chief Justice, it is in consultation with the Council of State.
Yeah.
But when it comes to an EC chair or a regular Supreme Court judge or a Court of Appeal judge or a High Court judge, the president does not decide whether there's a prima facie case. It is the Chief Justice that decides.
Yes. So remember when Martin Amedu petitioned the president for the removal of the OSP, it was quickly forwarded to the Chief Justice. The CJ sent it to the office of the OSP, asking them, give us your response to determine whether there's a prima facie. So it's a whole process, but in the coming days we'll know.
All right. Thank you very much, Murtala. Have a good day.
You too.
We'll see you.